just looking at the clock up on the wall.
It's probably not a bad idea to spend a minute or two waiting for the stragglers.
Yeah. Yes.
Comes where it goes.
Sure. Good morning. I love doing that gong thing. Well, welcome to this Sunday service at Unity in the Gold Country. I am Claire Palmerino, your platform assistant, assisting Reverend Lani Howard this morning. We're so glad to have her back while Reverend Jerry is on vacation. It's so good to look out into the sanctuary and see familiar faces and new faces, and to look up at the YouTube camera and say welcome to our YouTube friends, both watching now and watching in the future. Welcome. This is a sweltering September morning, but I understand the heat is going to break and we'll get some cooler temperatures by next Sunday. Hallelujah. So we begin, as always, with lighting the Christ candle. And as we light this candle, it is our visible reminder of the Christ consciousness that we invite into this room, the unseen supporters that come to join us and to fill us in the room with their high-frequency healing vibrations. In the beginning was the one presence of the undivided and unmanifest pure spirit of life, light, and love. In its generosity, it shared itself, its consciousness, and its love in the visible form of creation. We acknowledge this presence within us and as us, the creative energy of the divine feminine and masculine, expressing in all our giftedness and creativity. We acknowledge this presence in our companion, Mother Earth, and in all sentient beings. This universal presence in everything we call the Christ. We light this candle as a visible reminder of that Christ presence, expressing in, as, and through us in this present now moment. It is the truth. Let us embrace it. And now we're so delighted to welcome Kelly Garmeyer to lead us in our first community song, I Can See Clearly Now. If you'd like to stand and sing.
I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me me blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. I think I can make it now, the pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is that rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Look all around, there's nothing but blue skies. Look straight ahead, there's nothing but blue skies. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. One more time. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Right.
I realized as we started the song that I was remiss. I forgot to ask if there were any people here for the very first time. Oh, I see a couple of hands, and I'm so glad that I remembered to do this. Carolyn, would you get the welcome? We have a welcome packet for you, and there's a little red ribbon on the front. If you would put that on your shirt, then everyone knows that this is your first time with us, and we'd like to give you a special welcome after the service. Thank you, Carolyn. And now I'd like to invite Reverend Lani to the podium for the invocation.
Thank you, Claire. It's wonderful to be here this morning. Happy Labor Day. I don't know about you, but I came from a labor family. My father was a journeyman lithographer, and my mother was a telephone operator, so she was in the telecommunications union. And at one point, I had made it into a lower management position, and then they went on strike, and my mother was on the picket line, and I had to cross the picket line. This is not a pleasant experience with your mother calling you a scab. No. But we survived because, underneath it all, we're all lovers of each other in family. So it was a healing experience for both of us. So since this is Labor Day, I thought I would give you a quote from Matthew. So Jesus said, "Come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." Come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. And so what we know is that there is a power and a presence that we are immersed in, that we know is allowing us to be who we choose to be and be how we choose to be. And so we know that this power and presence gives to us all of its love, all of its peace, all of its harmony, all of its wholeness, all of its creativity, all of its abundance, all the infinite possibility that is present in that energy of life itself. And so we tune into that energy. And as we do, our burdens are lifted. We realize and recognize that we are one with that infinite energy, with that infinite source of ideas and ways of being, and ways of finding balance, and ways of experiencing rest. And so we tune into that and allow it to inform, to guide, and to direct us in each thought, in each word, and in each action, so that we may live that world where our work is joyful, our work is productive, our work is bringing a better experience into the world, not only for ourselves, but for everyone. And we focus on how we are contributing to life, and know that we are blessed by that contribution. And so we give thanks for the good that is unfolding in this Labor Day weekend, and as we honor the labor of all of us and the wonderful outcomes that are a result of the labor of God expressing. So we give thanks. We call it good. And so it is.
And now we come to our time of prayer. We have a list of names of people we wish to bless. So together we set the intention that as each name on our prayer list is read, that person is bathed in love and their highest good comes to them. Rebecca, Doug, and Ava Mora. Christopher Zumwalt. John Zumwalt. David Patrick. Susan Healy Harmon. Magdalena Yakel. Sharon Watson. Frank Potts. Carolyn Duty and family. Liz Cheney. Ernest Zerny. Don Stoll. Mike Schurer. Carlos Lizardo. Zion Morgan. Burry Seitz. Saxon. Michelle Harris. Jennifer Mucci. Pavel Jedlika. Forrest Nui. Tamara Montre. Fred Metzier. Adam Schiff. Mike Simpson. Dorothy Wheeler. Mary Lynn Peters. Michael McGurr. We also lift up the world and pray for peace, especially in areas of conflict such as the Ukraine. We pray for the Ukraine people and for the Russian people. And so if you would join me in our community prayer. There is only one presence and one power, active as the universe and as our lives, the all-loving goodness of God, and all is well. And now we have the reading of the daily word, if I can get disentangled from all my papers. The daily word today is ease. Beholding God in every circumstance helps me know ease. It's easy for me to find God in the glory of a sunrise and in the laughter of children, and to feel God's love as I get together with friends or family. Wherever there is wonder, joy, or fellowship, God is surely present. I remember that God is just as surely present when my responsibilities feel overwhelming, when conflict arises in a relationship, or when it feels as though there isn't enough of what I need. If I begin to feel tense, fearful, or frustrated, I remember that wisdom, love, understanding, and strength, all of the divine qualities that live within me, are ready to help me handle any challenge. Assured by my awareness of God's presence, I move with ease and grace through whatever this day brings. From Proverbs 1:33, those who listen to me will be secure and live at ease without dread of disaster. The daily word for today, ease. And now we move into our time of meditation, and I'm really glad that we have decided that in preparation for the Jedamali event in October, that we're sharing these meditations on Sunday. It gives you a little taste of what she is like. So I invite the sound booth people to open into the meditation from Jedamali.
Holding your attention in the present moment. Breathing more deeply. And on the in-breath, feel your heart area. Filling with love and compassion. On the out-breath, feel that love and compassion is moving out from your being and extending to the area all around you, so that the room in which you're sitting becomes filled with the love and compassion that you are sending forth. Use the breath. Use the rising and the falling of the chest. To draw in compassion and send it forth. Now allowing that love and compassion to extend even further. Imagine that you are a conduit through which is pouring infinite love and compassion for every aspect of life on earth. Every form of life. Recognizing that sometimes life on earth is difficult, is challenging, and we are all doing the best that we can in any given moment. With the beliefs, understanding, and worldview that we have. And although it is easy finger and imagine that some other beings are not playing their part, not doing their best. Let us have compassion for that also. For indeed, if such beings could do better, they would. For we are all drawn forward by that same impulse to return home, to be included, to be seen and heard, to be loved. And as that love and compassion moves through you and out into the world, let it erase your own judgment, your own limiting beliefs. Let it erase the places in you where you stand apart, where you withhold, where you distance yourself. And let this love and compassion flow to all forms of life equally. And feel the beauty and the purity of loving and being compassionate. In its pure, unadulterated state, with no conditions, no entry requirements. Knowing that this energy of love and compassion will find its way even into the areas of darkness and shadow. And we allow it to do its work as it is designed to do. Our role as human beings is to align ourselves with that source energy from which all life arises and to which all life returns. And none of us carries the biggest or clearest or truest picture of what that should or could look like. So let us have compassion also for ourselves, as we are also on a learning journey. We are also seeking to be included, to be seen and heard, to be loved. Feel how compassion melts away all the mental constructs, all the resistance, and brings us into a state of kindness, appreciation, understanding. notice how your heart is ideally suited to this energy. That we can call on it and send it forth at a moment's notice. Only the intention is required. Our heart knows how to do the rest. Blessings be.
I invite you to gently come back, and we will join in our next community song, Wonderful World. If you would like to stay in this meditation, you're welcome to just sit and ponder, listen to the lyrics, or sing along. Thank you.
Well, I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue, clouds of white, bright blessed days and dark sacred nights, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, yeah.
Hello again. Woo! Pop. So here we are, it's September. How did that happen? As they say, you know, time flies like an arrow, fruit flies like a banana. And that just shows you how confusing the English language is. There's that word, and it means entirely different things depending on the context, right? So the talk title is about cleansing the doors of perception, and of course this comes from a quote by William Blake, who was a poet, an artist, a mystic. And it is, if the doors of perception were cleansed, everything would appear to man as it is, infinite. If the doors of perception were cleansed, everything would appear to man as it is, infinite. Infinite possibility infinite energy. But what is our perception? Perception is our experience of our senses filtered by our experience. So all of the things that we have learned from our teachers, from our family, from books that we've read, from experiences we've had, whatever it is, they have sometimes muddied up those doors of perception so that we're not really experiencing the world as it is. We are experiencing it as we think it is, based on our past experience. So this fogs what is really going on. We are the perceivers and we are the meaning makers. Something happens. And we know this from have an automobile accident. 8 people will have 8 different descriptions of what happened, because each of them has a different viewpoint, a different perception, and a different idea of what's really going on. Who's wrong? Who's right? All of that. So what we know is that the nature of the universe is expansion. So we are invited to continually open to cleansing those doors of perception, to being present in whatever it is that is going on, and letting it be what it is before we decide how to make meaning out of it. So one of the ways that we can cleanse that perception is going into nature. And we are so fortunate because we are right here in the midst of such a beautiful experience of nature. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "Look deep into nature, then you will understand everything better." Look deep into nature and you will understand everything better. So think about the first time you ever went through that tunnel and there was Yosemite Valley before you. Think about the first time you ever did that. You go through that tunnel and then all of a sudden, whoa, awe and wonder and beauty and magnificence. And an experience like that opens our imagination. It opens us to see the world in a different way, to expand our viewpoint. I remember going to the Grand Canyon at dawn. We drove up there just as dawn was coming over the canyon. And we went to a viewing spot, and there were people there from all over the world. And here we all were from different parts of the world, all speaking different languages, coming from different cultures, and all being together, having an experience of awe and wonder at the light and the shadow and the beauty of this magnificent natural occurrence that took thousands and thousands, if not millions of years, to evolve itself. So opening ourselves to experiences like that. I don't know if any of you had a chance to watch the solar eclipse a couple of years ago, but I was up in Oregon with some friends, and of course, it was like, oh good, there's going to be an eclipse, and we all got our chairs and, went out into the driveway and sat in this driveway of the house as all of a sudden it started getting dark and the lights were coming on in the street, and we saw these shadow snakes coming down the driveway, coming down the street. It was like, whoa, what is that? It was like awe and wonder and amazement, and everybody just sort of dumbstruck. When you have an experience like that, words don't ever capture it. Words are too small to capture the awe and wonder and amazement that is possible in this beautiful world that we live in. I remember I actually listened to a woman on CBS the next day who they had a recording of her describing it, and she's talking about, she's at some huge campground somewhere where everybody's watching the eclipse, and she is, and the people are gathering and da-da-da-da-da, and then people start cheering and clapping, and all of a sudden this professional broadcaster is saying, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God." So it's wonder, it's amazement. Our wonderful photographer Ansel Adams, who did take wonderful pictures of Yosemite, said, "The world is incomprehensibly beautiful, an endless prospect of magic and wonder." An endless prospect of magic and wonder. So another thing that helps us to cleanse the doors of our perception is travel. Getting out of the mundane, our normal day-to-day. Going somewhere. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to go way away. It may just be taking a different route to the place you always go. It may be just going someplace else for your groceries or whatever, trying to something new. But I remember, I happen to believe, there's a quote that says, from Proust, "The journey of discovery consists not in seeing new sights, but in looking with new eyes." But I think travel does give us new eyes. I remember going to Japan back in the 80s, and I was visiting some friends there who were living in an apartment. And of course, it's a whole different culture, and so you roll it, you have your bed and you unroll it at night, and then you roll it up and stick it in the closet during the day. And they had a toilet that fit into the corner of the room. So the back of it was, a triangle. And it had a faucet on the top so that when you flushed, you could wash your hands in the water that was going to fill the tank. I thought that was a really good use of water. In fact, I told a friend of mine who worked at East Bay Mud, the municipal utility district down there, and said, "We should get some of those toilets," but but it gives you a whole different idea. It was like, whoa. And of course, they had a tub that you wash before you get in the tub. The tub is not for washing, the tub is for soaking. And it was about that high, and you had to climb into it. But it was, you just sat there and chilled and let it was like a meditation, the warm water. When I was in the part of Switzerland that's near Italy, I went into a store and I saw my first, this is 1974. I'd never seen a salad spinner before. I was like, whoa, I've never seen one of those. I had to get it, I had to bring it home, So different things, different cultures, different ideas, different inventions, different things that we may or may not have seen before enrich us. When I was growing up, we had meat and potatoes and green beans, maybe carrots and peas. That was like what we ate. And of course now, even here in Grass Valley, we have Thai food in addition to Mexican food and Chinese food and, South American food. I mean, right here in Little Grass Valley. So amazing things come to us through travel, and those were people who traveled from other countries here. We call them immigrants, and all of our families come from immigrants. This week I got together with a bunch of cousins, and we were going through all the people who came on my mother's side of the family from Ireland. Everybody was named Huey or Bridget. It's like great-grandpa Huey, and then Grandpa Huey, and then it's like, Nobody in our generation is named Huey. I think we do have one middle name of Hugh in Grandpa's honor. So travel is another way that we can cleanse those doors of perception. And of course, education is another way we can cleanse the doors of perception. So we take classes like here at Unity, and we take classes at Ollie maybe, or Sierra College. We are invited to continually expand, but it's not just about school, of course. It's about everything. I recently accepted a position as a secretary of a club that invited me to learn MailChimp, which is a software package that allows you to create and send out large amounts of mail. Oh my God. Have to learn a whole new language. You have to, get all these new neurons firing in your brain, which is a really good thing. Learning new things, firing those new neurons, expressing something greater. I was watching, just language itself. I don't know if you saw that PBS special on Nova that was all about language and writing and how writing came to be, how we figured out to transfer an oral tradition to something we write. I mean, what an amazing thing people came up with. And they didn't go to school to come up with that. They tuned into something that needed to happen. So you say necessity is the mother of invention, right? So some of the first writing is all about accounting, keeping track. How much stuff did I sell and how much stuff did I get back? So that really inspired some of the first writing. The first Bible wasn't, published in the vernacular. The first German Bible was 1466, and the first English Bible was 1535. But you have to remember, Jesus was speaking in Aramaic. Then that was translated to Greek, which was translated to Latin, which was translated to English. Now, I don't know if you've ever played telephone, but, things get lost or, changed in transition in the translations. So, we appreciate the wisdom of the Bible, but we do not worship it. Worshiping the Bible is a form of idolatry. We take its wisdom, but we don't ever think it's the final word either. Because we are all tuned in to the infinite source where we don't need a translator, where it comes to us in the language that we understand. And sometimes that language is a word or a phrase, and sometimes that language is just a feeling. And so we tune into whatever we are receiving from our spiritual practice. Now, spiritual practice, if we're spiritual beings living in a spiritual universe, everything is a spiritual practice. If we have an intention to make it so. So if we say doing the dishes is a spiritual practice, I am going to be mindful in this moment of the water, of the soap, of the dish. I'm going to be mindful of where I am in the present moment and, perceive exactly where I am doing what I'm doing. Then you're in a spiritual practice. So if we're singing a song, that's a spiritual practice. If we're dancing or, just doing something fun, laughing. I think laughing is the gift of God always. So, we can cleanse that door of perception so many ways. And of course, when we think about cleansing, we think about water. And Ernest Holmes, who is the founder of the Science of Mind, said, just as water purifies itself as it flows, so the impure stream of our mental life becomes purified by applied constructive thinking. So what that is about is watching what we think, thinking about what we think. We know that energy flows where attention goes. So I think a spiritual practice is taking a break from the news for at least a day. The world will get on without your absolutely knowing everything about what's going on. And it is important to know, and it will be there tomorrow for you to find out about. But taking a break brings you back to where you are and allows you to experience that unfiltered perception. You're not getting anybody else's opinion about what's going on. You just get to see where you are and what's happening here. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, right? So I think that's God's way of saying we need to listen more than we talk. I was reading an article in Psychology Today, and they said, you think you remember what others say, but you really remember what you think about what they said. So that's what we're doing. We're not just hearing what people are saying, we're thinking at the same time. And sometimes we're thinking about what we're going to say to them as soon as they would shut up. Right? So we are invited to activate our imagination. You know, I think one of the wonderful things is possible to do something silly. Do something silly. Do something childlike. You know, in the Buddhist tradition, they talk about beginner's mind. This is childlike, not childish. Childlike means a child is just wide open to the world and to the experience of the world. I know that they do tests on little children in kindergarten or preschool, and they all come out as genius level creativity. By the time they're in middle school, that's cut back to about 50%. By the time they finish high school, it's about 25%. Because they've had the creativity filtered out of them. Because there are only certain ways that you can do this stuff. But there's a million ways you can do this stuff. A million ways that we can solve the problem, that we can find the solution, that we can find the remedy, because the solution and the remedy are there in the infinite, just as the problem is there. So as we tune into that infinite, we are allowing ourselves to come to a realization of that energy, of that life force that wants us to experience itself as joy, as harmony, as wholeness, as love, as beauty, as truth, as goodness of every kind. And if it wants us to do that, if that's what its nature is, let us open to it and allow it to be who and what we are. So anything can be a spiritual practice. But one of the other practices we have is prayer. And so I'm going to close with a prayer. And so we just allow ourselves to recall, to remember that there is just one source of life. Out of the Big Bang came this energy that manifested in form for the first time. and evolved itself into all of these magnificent things that we see, stars and planets and galaxies and all of these things that are manifest from that one source. And we are all here on this one planet as emanations of that one source. Each of us is an individualized incarnation of that infinite energy that we might call divine. And so I know that each and every one has that capacity for opening to that divine source for guidance, for direction, for communication, and for communion with all of the other sources from that one that inhabit this beautiful blue planet. And so I know that we are guided to that which serves our highest good, in not only for ourselves, but in concert with everyone else. That this is the dance of life, and we are all learning our parts and learning how we can contribute to its evolution, its unfoldment, and our creative capacities being exercised and brought forth in wonderful and magnificent ways. Never too late. There is always a path for that divine expression. And so I accept and know that each of us is bringing that forth in this moment, that is coming into the awareness and the consciousness of each one here and out into the world. That consciousness of peace and wholeness and oneness and unity and creativity and abundance and health. It is unfolding. It is very good. I am so grateful knowing that as I release my word into the law, it responds by corresponding to this energy and makes it manifest. And we affirm this together as we say, and so it is. Amen.
Wow. Thank you, Reverend Lani. You've given us much to ponder. And so it is. Whew. Well, we now move to our time of love offering. We have our affirmation. If you have a love offering that you'd like to hold in your hand, or if you're sharing with someone, to hold that person's hand, let us say our offering affirmation together. My heart is open to receive and grateful for all my good. I give fearlessly and with love. We have ushers come forward. Thank you. And as the ushers make their way, we have a beautiful song that's one of my personal favorites, I Dreamed of Rain.
I dreamed of rain and the rains came, soft and easy, sweet and clear. I dreamed of rain and the rains came, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of summer and the winds changed, and the green was easy and the rivers ran clear. I dreamed of summer and the winds changed, and peace spread over the land. And the flowers bloom in the desert, and the air is fresh and clear. I dreamed of rain and the rains came, and peace spread over the land. I of heaven and the earth sang, and the sound was easy and the song was clear. I dreamed of heaven and the earth sang, and peace spread over the land. And the ancient pain is forgotten, and the Father's debts are clear. I dreamed of heaven and the earth sang, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of rain and the rains came, soft and easy, sweet and clear. I dreamed of rain and the rains came, and peace spread over the land. And the flowers bloom in the desert, and the air is fresh and clear. I dreamed of rain and the rains came, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of rain and the rains came, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of rain and the rains came.
Thank you, Kelly. That was just an exquisite rendition of that song. Thank you. So now we have announcements. The first one is that the Unity in the Gold Country office will be closed on Monday in observance of Labor Day. And the Monday groups will also suspend their meetings in observance of the holiday weekend. On Wednesday, September 7th, the MatCon group will be on Zoom only, no personal in-person meeting. I'm really privileged to be able to make this announcement. I know that you've heard it before, but in case someone hasn't heard it, we are so excited to have Jetta Molly coming to Unity in the Gold Country in October. And if you don't know who Jetta Molly is, she's the one who led our meditation this morning, and she is a profoundly wise, advanced spiritual being. And I think she would be a wholehearted endorsement of Reverend Lani's talk this morning. The topic of the workshop is cultivating collective intelligence. And that's exactly, Reverend Lani didn't use those words, but that's exactly what she was talking about this morning. How do each of us tune in to that divine knowing? How do we align? And it isn't through effort, it's through choice. But Jetta Molly will be giving us tools and insights as to how to develop that access to collective intelligence, not collective unconscious, but collective intelligence. I'd also like to point out that we are collecting donations. If you are, even if you're coming or if you're not coming to the workshop, but you'd like to make it possible for others to do so, that maybe can't cover the cost in its entirety, we are collecting donations for a scholarship fund. So if you would like to donate, please see Marlene after the service, or Leslie. So we are very excited about Jetta Molly coming to Grass Valley. And big kudos to Marlene for all the work that she did to make that happen. Thursday. Oh, for those of you who have registered, or if you're going to register, she is going to have a live question and answer period about the workshop itself on Thursday morning at 9 o'clock. So if you've already registered, you probably got an email about it. But if you haven't registered, my guess is if you register soon, you will get sent an email and have access to the ability to ask her questions ahead of time. Jetta Molly is going to be online live with us 9 o'clock on Thursday. Okay, did I cover it all? All right. Teamwork invitation. First of all, I'd like to thank the crew that's been maintaining our grounds. Aren't they doing an incredible job? Thank you. Catherine Arbini, Sydney Grimsby, and I'm sure countless other, Richard Anderson and others that I don't even know about, we thank you so much. But we also want to put out this invitation to anyone who would like to put in a few hours' work on Saturday, October 1st. We're going to be addressing the slope on Whispering Pines. Just if the more hands we have, the lighter the work will be. So if you would like to sign up for the sheet at the back of the sanctuary, that's how you would get information about that. Our Change for Change recipient for September and October is Sierra Roots. Sierra Roots envisions a relationship-based community in which everyone has a chance to heal and a place to call home. So all of our Change for Change will be going to Sierra Roots for the next 2 months. Next week, the 2022 World Day of Prayer will be held by Unity Worldwide. The theme is Holding the High Watch, and the affirmation is, I pray with an elevated mind and open heart. Again, that access to the divine knowing. Use the link in our e-bulletin to access all the options Unity Prayer Ministry is offering so far this year. We have a lot of announcements today. Thank you for your patience. The next announcement is that our energy healing clinics are returning after a 2-year hiatus. We're so grateful to Christy Stevens for getting this going again. And so the clinics will be on the second Sunday of the month, and so our first one in the new series is September 11th, and if you can see Christy after the service to see what is available. We have several slots that are already reserved, but there are still some openings. And finally, if you would like to receive the e-bulletin that gives you all the information that you need to stay current with Unity in the Gold Country, there's a sign-up sheet in the back. Phew, I think we made it. Let us stand and say our Unity prayer together. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, because I am, and all is well. And if the ushers would like to come forward, I forgot. I'm so used to Reverend Jerry doing all of this stuff. Okay, I just got the sign that we just bless the gifts and we thank you for the abundance. Praise God. And our final song, I Choose Love.
Peace in my life is growing because I choose love. Love's always present, it's what I'm made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one tie that binds us that can't be undone. I choose love. Peace in my family is growing because I choose love. Let love be present, it's what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one loving family, sharing one son. I choose love. Peace for
Thank you so much for being here. I was just reminded of one final announcement, if you can bear one more. But with the sweltering high temperatures coming up in the next few days, if any of you do not have air conditioning and feel the need to get out of the heat for relief, the center will be open and you may come in here to cool off. Marlene? Call to make sure, because on Monday the office is closed, but Marlene will come in to open it, yeah? So call Marlene. Thank you. Have a blessed day.